Happy Tuesday.
Hello, welcome. We are so glad to have you guys here with us. We are back in the studio.
This is Carrie.
This is Patty.
You guys, we are going to talk about stenciling and painting and DIYing, and we are going to show you how to fix so many things today.
Yes.
You're gonna love all the things. Make sure that you give us some hearts.
Yes.
Today we are dealing with snowplow people, and they might be making a lot of noise. I have a broken heater. I've been running around, and it's been crazy. But we are going to have fun and escape in the land of painting.
Yes, we
so
are.
I'm excited to be here.
We are happy to be here.
I'm more happy to be here than out there with the broken heater.
Yes, agreed.
You know?
Let's make sure. Okay, we have audio. We are goodio.
Video with the
We're
audio.
goodio. So last week, guys, for those of you who are here with us often, last week we were in Atlanta and we went to market and saw all kinds of trends and fun stuff, and we did a little shopping for our boutique.
And you guys, when we say market, for those of you that have never been or heard of this thing, all of the buyers, there's like 5 or 6 big markets around the country, in Dallas and in New York City, in Atlanta, Las Vegas, LA, and they have these markets, and this is 3 skyscraper buildings, like 23 stories, 17 stories, 18 stories, full of all of the gift things that you see in every gift, hospital gift store, boutiques,
roadside
rugs,
little places,
roadside places,
and
like,
it's all wholesale, so it's not something that's just open that you can go
you
shop.
have to have licenses and things. So anyway, when we went, we were there for a week. We walked for 12 hours a day, looking and deciding, and then seeing what the trends were. So today we're going to share what the trends were. We're going to share what that means. We're going to share how you can implement it yourself. We're going to share how to implement the trend after you've painted something, and what that means. So we got a lot to share.
We do, and I actually we have some giveaways. So last week we were on the road. We weren't able to do giveaways while we were on the road, but we're going to make up for it this week. I have some fun giveaways, and I'm going to go ahead and start. Our friend Joe Hall,
hey Joe,
just commented and said, "It's my first time to see you live."
Yay!
They've been
Joe.
watching the replays on YouTube.
Cool.
So awesome. Hi, thank you, welcome. Joe is going to be the winner of 3 Valentine's Day stencils. We have a love, John 3:16. We have a whaley, love you with a whale.
I whaley love you too,
Whaley, love you. And we have a heart crusher with a little monster truck. So
I love that monster
these
truck.
are super fun. Joe, we will message you and get your address so that we can get these sent out to you.
Can I say a thing real quick?
Please.
I watch and follow a couple people on YouTube as well. I think we all do these days. And it is so fun to be part of the live part, because you get to hear the comments and questions in real time. If you can join us, that's great. If you can't, it is also good just to watch it after, and I appreciate both ways. But it is nice to be a part of it and then to have interaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can ask your questions.
Absolutely.
Real time. Although we will answer your questions after the fact as well. It just won't be in like me talking or Carrie talking or something like that.
So let's do some housekeeping. To be
Why
entered
housekeeping?
I know. We need a better word for that. Let's do some.
Wait. I'm turning my heart upside down. I'm not going to do housekeeping.
Don't give us mean faces.
No mean faces.
Don't
Give
no
us
mean faces.
hearts.
Give us hearts to make us feel better for housekeeping. We need to find another word for that. I'll work on that today. To be entered to win any of our giveaways, you're going to want to like, share, and comment. We announce some giveaways during our live, but then we announce our grand prize winners after, like 24 hours later. So we'll announce those
everybody
Wednesday.
a chance to enter, so that if you're like Joe and you haven't been able to come here live, then you can at least get here within 24 hours, and you still get to enter. So you still get to get lucky.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, that means to go find us on Facebook and tune in on 12 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, because that's when we do these live. Speaking of YouTube, let's show off some fun little things. So if you're not,
I'll be Vanna.
You'll be Vanna. Please be Vanna.
Howdy, Vanna.
If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you're going to want to do that.
I didn't wear a dress.
Next we have a prom store.
High heels.
We have a prom store in town next week. Patty will be wearing prom prom formal dress.
No, she will not.
But we upload fun tutorials on our YouTube every week, and we upload these videos so you can catch these later and do some rewinding. Like, we go back and look at some of the analytics, and today Steve and I were looking, and there was one that it went down a little bit and then went up. So we were able to see what you guys thought was cool enough that you watched it multiple times. So technology's awesome. But last week on our YouTube, we uploaded the welcome everybody welcome, and we are the month of January doing tall porch signs. So every Saturday in January we're releasing a new one.
Bunny booze. Oh wait, no, the booze is in my cup.
Yeah, so wine Tuesday.
Yeah.
Our first day back in the office after a week.
Oh, it was a long week, you guys. It was so long.
But in this tutorial, Patty's going to show you the difference in a white and dark background and some really fun.
Yeah, and you know, the color choices are so interesting to me. I would never have expected to love a black Easter sign as much as I do. This is like my favorite. I love this guy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And so then this week we are continuing with the tall porch theme, and this week where Patty is back with us, and she has a fun Hello Spring tall porch sign that has a little bird. Vanna, there you go. And it has a birdhouse on it, and we're talking about whitewashing and color selecting, and I'm not going to tell you about it, but I do want to. Yesterday when I was like proofreading it,
you guys give Carrie extra love and extra hearts and extra props, because she actually is the person that goes through and timestamps everything for you. So when you go to YouTube, you can go down in the description and you can be like, I just want to know how they do the fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And you can go to the timestamps and it'll be like at minute 27:21.
Yes.
This is happening. And so Carrie is the one that does that. She ends up watching every video we do. She films them and then is sometimes in them.
And then, it is some type of torture to watch yourself on video every week.
And I'll walk through the studio and she'll have it on like 10 times speed and it'll be, and it's funny.
I was doing it the other night and my husband's like, what are you watching? I'm working. I'm working.
And that's my real voice.
Yes. In 2 times speed, it definitely is. Debbie asked, what's in your cup?
Red wine.
Red wine.
Red wine today, baby.
Be sure to like, comment, and share so you can be entered to win our giveaways.
And Debbie, to be fair, I have a big 30-ounce tumbler with some tea in it. So not caffeinated tea, just herbal tea. So not those kinds of herbs. So I'm gonna get in all kinds of trouble here. I'm gonna shut up.
I think we're ready to start. Let's talk about painting.
Let's talk about
So we're going to talk about trends today. Let's start with the most popular, you think? The most popular thing.
Let's start with the most popular.
And we told you guys, we kind of gave you an insight of it last week when we did our quick live. But the thing, and the funny thing, so we're on our way to Atlanta. It's an 8-hour drive, so we have a lot of time to talk about what we're doing as a company,
what are we looking
to see,
for, what's neat,
what kind of things we want and don't want. So, and then we make a list of where we're going to go. So we have this time to plan. And on the way there, Patty was like, you guys know what? I think we're going to see this year tea towel stripes. And so Peyton and I were like, okay. And then we walk in, and I'm not kidding, they are everywhere.
I mean, it was everywhere on everything.
Yes.
And you know what was surprising to me is the Easter with the tea towel stripes, the St. Patrick's Day, the Christmas, the grunge, the fresh, it was on floor mats, it was on kitchen towels, it was on baby stuff. It was on everything.
Well, we were in a kitchen decor, like not even a decor, a kitchen gadget store. And everything's metal, and you have all these little tools, and then there's one doormat for the kitchen, and it had tea towel stripes.
Yeah, just all tea towel stripes. It was amazing. I've never seen anything. So when we went to market, so we went in July, and it's just been, we hadn't been for a year and a half because of circumstances in the world, and we didn't see a single thing that said tea towels were coming in July. So that's only 6 months ago, and then whoomp, in comes the thing. So I don't know if things were kept in, like maybe they were coming, but nobody would release anything because of the weirdness of, you all read the news, you know what's been going on with everything, like it's all the things. But so maybe they were ready to do it, and maybe it just all came out at once.
Yeah. But it was, and it wasn't like we went to one vendor. I mean,
we went to 100 vendors.
Yeah,
easily.
And I have started. I'm like the super OCD one of our group, and I have like what we found, and it's like tea towels, and then there's like zoom. Picture, just so that we have the. Okay, Debbie asked. So Debbie, we're going to show you that right now. What are tea towel stripes?
Okay,
show
tea
Debbie
towel
and all
stripes.
of our friends.
Let's go. I'm going to go with our lemons right here. Okay, so let's see. Am I on this one, Steve?
Yep.
Okay. So it doesn't have a name tag anymore. It's like carry both and nothing. Wait a minute. I'm going to need that to be fixed. Okay. So these stripes right here, can you see them up above? Yeah? Okay. So these stripes right here, they are the tea towel stripes, and they are feed sack and tea towel stripes, and they come in combinations. This is our tea towel stripe stencil, and this is our medium size. So you've got a wide with 2 skinnies, you've got 3 in the middle with other skinnies, and then just a single little, and just variations of them. And then it also comes in the really tiny, this is our smallest size, so you can do things really tiny as well.
And then it also goes up to like a 19 by 27. So we have the 6 by 8 all the way up to, like, it's probably one that we have the most sizes of on our
and
website.
it's important. Now they get unwieldy, and I'm going to show you how to use these because so I'm a really kind of a mean product developer.
She's not kidding.
I really am. I wish I had a piece of wood that was laying around here. Okay, so when we do like ornaments and things like that, I will take it and flex it and try to break it. And if it'll break, then I'm chuck it back and say, fix it. It's not good enough. Like if things are going to be bad for our customers, I don't want that to end up in your hands. I want us to fix it before. So I'm always like quality control. All right, so tea towel stripes break almost every stencil rule that I have. I don't want there to be bridges. Bridges are the things that connect the lines and steady up the stencil, okay? If there's a lot of bridges in these stripes, then it doesn't make any sense to have the stripes.
Right.
The old-fashioned way of doing tea towel stripes would be to use your tape. Okay, but once you tape it and you do the thing, you tape it there. Well, we're on this black mat, and there is an affiliate link below, or there will be an affiliate link, and there's a blog post on our website that Carrie will link to that has all of our affiliate links. So number one, notice that can you see that, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, so notice that when I tape that, I got it a little bit crooked. Okay, so that happens a lot when you tape. Notice that my stripes are laser cut out of a sturdy material, and they are not crooked. So that is one of the things that a stencil will cure for you, is to not have something be crooked. Number two, once you peel this up and you've painted on it, then you're throwing it away, and a roll of tape. You know how tape is so expensive. I want to say they're between $5 and $8 a roll for different kinds of tapes and stuff. And Scotch tape is almost useless for doing stripes. Small stripes, little areas, perfect. But the masking tape is the way to go, and it's just a big waste. So you're going to go through this over and over. So the tea towel stripe is amazing. However, my rule of thumb is no finger traps. And a finger trap in my book is something where you stick your finger in it, and if your finger can get stuck in it, then it's a finger trap. And in this case, what I have is I have a whole arm trap. And so that seems like that's counterintuitive, that I would want something that I'm against finger traps, but I'm for arm traps. But I have a way to handle that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I think we should maybe hop into the how to. If you guys have questions, let us know. We're here to answer any questions that you have. Okay, so the secret to the trap is to get it tacky on the back. Okay, so that we came up, there's a foiling video that we will put a link to, and it is how to make the back of your stencil sticky so that the materials won't move around and stuff like that. So this is a perfect use for that. We have the little rolly tape thing. What's this thing? Re-stick?
It's called crafter's tape.
Crafter's tape. Well, it's a re-sticky thing. So the adhesive is re-adhesible. Re-adhesible. Oh, sure.
Words are hard.
Words are hard on Tuesday. No. Okay. So my favorite, though, if you watch the foiling video will blow your hippie noodle. It really will. It is magic. Foiling through a stencil is one of the most satisfying things you will ever do. And Carrie's got a project coming up very soon. That is bees and gold, and oh my gosh, it's amazing.
It's probably one of my favorite ones that I've done.
Yeah, it's a magic project. Okay, so we are going to go onto a project using the bigger tea towel stripe, and so I'm going to prepare this. And so I'm going to just put some of this. This is the stick and re-stick is out of all like 8 projects. I kind of vet them all on the video, and out of all 8 of those products that I did, this one was my favorite. There was a really close second. And then this one, I just like the convenience of having it in your hand without having a palette and another tool involved, so I like that. So both work.
And the yellow crafter's tape is currently available on our website. The stick and re-stick, we are in the process of adding it. So we will have it very soon for you guys on our website.
Yeah, and it's very convenient. You guys, we know how Amazon works and all those kinds of things, but if we have a lot of our things in one place, it makes it easier for you to shop and then access the free shipping.
Yeah.
And then, speaking of free shipping, make sure that you are signing up for our newsletter when you go to the website. There will be a big wheel, and you just spin the wheel, and that will give you savings, and more importantly, it will sign you up for the newsletter. When it signs you up for the newsletter, then you will access any other savings that we have. So you want to make sure you do that so that you can access the savings. Okay, you notice that on my ink sweeper, I wrote the word tacky with Steve's brown marker, which I may or may not be giving back to him. It looks very nice on my purple. I may need this.
It looks really good.
He was like, but wait, it's mine. Okay, so this is a brand new ink sweeper, and I didn't have an ink sweeper that had a dirty ink sweeper. So I don't know why I don't know where they went. They might be in the drying basket.
Yeah,
we put a utensil basket from like the sink on a shelf with wire to air dry everything so that it gets dry. This is a good example of a very used dauber, and it's made out of the same material. And this is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like much firmer. It's not hard, but it's much firmer than a fresh one. The fresh ones are squishier. Okay, once I use a tack-it product or any of this kind of stuff on here, as long as I get it in water and get it rinsed out right away, then it's gonna be good to use. I can use this for painting, there's no problem. It just gets a little bit firmer. This seems to stick inside of it a little bit better than paints do. Paints come right out. But what I decided to do was mark with Steve's brown marker. He's chuckling. I decided to mark this so that that I will know that this is the one that I use the tacky product on, and then I'll know that that's the one to always use the tacky product, so that I don't want a fresh squishy and not have it. So that's that. Okay, so we're gonna go with this. I love how the fingers fit right on in there. And so what we're gonna do, if I was doing this at home, I would, and if I'm doing it right here, actually, I'm probably not going to do all of it. Oh, rat buckets.
We need?
Well, I don't need. If I was doing it at home, and I think the product's on the shelf out there, the wax paper. So if you have a piece of wax paper the size of your stencil, if you lay that out and you kind of give yourself a little tape in the corner, then you can do all the lines at one time, and then everything is already tacky. You have to let this product dry, so everything's gonna be already tacky, and then once it's already tacky, even after you wash it, it's re-tacky again. So you don't even have to re-tack it. It's already tacky. So we're gonna use this. I love this because of the shape of it. I'm gonna just tap that off so that I have a nice flat wad of glue on there, basically. And then I'm just going to bounce around. I'm going to give myself a little piece of tape just to keep it stable. I don't need this, it's just irritating me.
While you're doing this, Janet asked, how do we store the stencils with the tack?
I will show you that, Janet, in just a minute. It is amazing that, now, when I used to use a product called Tack It Over and Over, I'm not even sure if that's still available. I had gone to Columbus for a visit and I went to all the craft stores, and when I went to all the craft stores, I bought every product that was repositionable and to do this, like the foil project. And if you keep this thin, if you keep it thick, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get to that question in a second. If you keep this thin, it will dry clear. If you do it thick, it will kind of dry a little bit gummy. So you want to be careful to keep your layers nice and thin.
Well, and that's how you can also tell if it's ready, because it looks like glue.
It looks like glue until it dries, and then it's clear. So I'm going to sink this in this water, and I'm going to push it down with a brush. I almost need like a rock or something.
We do
just
need,
like
we do need a rock in there.
Sink that thing. Okay. It was Janet, right?
Janet, yes.
Janet. Okay. We're going to bring this away. It's going to be drying. And I'm going to go to this guy. So this is our disc journal rings. And what I love about this, so there are easily 20 stencils in here. Okay, so I've got the weight of 20 stencils on here. And I've just got a little clippy clip holding that just little punch right there, holding that in there. And this thing is so durable, and it makes a book of your stencils. Back in the day when I was designing with stenciling, and I would just have to, a new stencil every week, all the time, and I still have that actually. But to store them, I would just put it on the station behind me, but I was using Tack It Over and Over all the time. Well, the tack it next to each other, over each other, on each other, over and over, all like that, it just stuck and made a big gooey mess. This is like, not everything is gonna get anything. Okay, I'm jumping around.
Yes, okay. So
Tuesdays.
First of all, will you show the hole punch that goes with that, since we're talking about it?
Yeah. Okay, this is the hole punch. And when you are punching, let me punch the circles because we're going to use these a million times. Also, polka dots were a big deal. So I'm going to punch that in there. And punch. And now I am ready to go. So that is how easy that is. And it just looks like a little pin punch. And then when you put it in there, you just pop it on. And they come in sizes, so you can have different sizes. So these are big rings, and they actually have little crowns. So if you want to be the queen of crafting. And then, so what I did is I made books with colors, so I color coded, and you can get a whole entire box of my wax paper. Yay. So these are the binding ring expansion things, and they come in all of the colors of the rainbow. And I just bought a kit of these, and I'll bet you it was probably $9 or something like that. So you can make a book of tools. You can make a book of words. You can make a book of patterns. You can make a book of anything that whatever theme you want. And I think that's really important because the organization of stencils is one of the hardest things. I think it's the hardest thing. But this disc ring system makes it super easy. And I've got to say, I wouldn't recommend it just to recommend it because I have tried the Renee's thing with the clips. This is the second best thing that I've seen, and this is the, I don't know, Rusty, if you can get that. So this is just a curtain rod that we have a link for so that you can, get what we got. We've mounted it under the shelf, and then that's a wire support, and then those are little curtain clips. And those, you could put like dividers in between them if you have a closet or something like that. Great way to store your stencils. This, in my book, if I had a place like a shelf that I could put it, these stack so beautifully, and unless I have a J-hook or what's that?
C-tab.
C-tab? Yeah, if I have one of those plastic U-line hooky things, those will catch, but my stencils are not catching. I haven't had a problem with that at all. Anyway, back to the question about sticking. So some of these are going to be sticky and some of them aren't. If I have something with fine detail, I won't stick it. I won't do the tack and the stick and re-stick. Okay, so if I have something with a big pattern like this, and this is satisfied, ready? And it doesn't rip or anything, it's just so neat. Anyway, so if I have something with these nice big openings like that, they're super sturdy, I can't put my hand through it, I can't do any of that. This is perfect. This one gets into being very delicate. And this one I would say, I would probably go ahead because of its flimsiness, I would probably go ahead and stick and re-stick this. And then this one we did because it's arm trap central. I could almost head trap myself through that. But it is still sticky, and we've used it many times. And this is the one that makes the plaid. I wish I would have brought this in.
I think we did that one with the crafter's tape, maybe.
Is it?
I think so. I think we did that one with the crafter's tape.
Yes, you are right.
Steve, do you want to run to my desk, please, and get the bee stencil that I just filmed? I did that. I did the stick and re-stick on it, I believe.
Yeah. But so you can see that the crafter's tape is still sticky.
Yeah.
So if it'll do that on my hand, it'll definitely stick on your project. And that's what you want, is a really low tack. You don't want anything super tacky, but it's not sticking to my other stencil. Did you? I ripped it right off of there and you didn't see it lifting the other stencil. Thank you. So this one has a built-in frame. And so because that's a little bit trappish, you know, that's my finger trap words. It's just a company vocabulary.
Well, and I think it was on the front of this one that I did it.
Yeah.
So that I could do the foil.
Yeah, and it is, it's amazing how effective this is. It's a really cool, isn't that a beautiful stencil? Love it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, it's coming. It's a beautiful project, and she used some really neat techniques. You guys, if you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you haven't subscribed, please do, because there's, like, we're being chatty and goofy on this kind of stuff, and we separated out the lives because you guys want to ask us questions, but not everybody wants to hear a random bunch of questions. You know, some people just want, like, the lesson, and so we changed this format so that we could make this the live question-y thing, and you guys could get your questions answered if you're into that.
Yeah.
If you're not into that, or sometimes you just want the lesson, go over to YouTube, make sure you subscribe, make sure that you ring the bell after you subscribe, and that is going to get you notified when we have new content, and we have new content a lot, and it will tell you what the content is.
Yeah.
So, very exciting. Anyway, so this does not stick together, to answer Debbie's question.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Janet.
Janet's question. Sorry, Debbie was earlier. Okay. Put this back together and move on. Okay, so does anybody know what RocLon is? I have painted banners with RocLon for a very long time, and RocLon has been unavailable in all the world for about the last year. They had a little bit of company problems. I think a lot of companies had company problems in the last year, and so RocLon has not been available, but is now available again at the craft stores. And what it is it is drapery lining fabric. And so if you go to a hotel, that blackout curtain that you slide over, that kind of spongy almost feeling material is what blackout weight is, and RocLon, RocLon, is the maker of that product. And it's available at Joann's and Hobby Lobby and all of the fabric stores in the world, because people make curtains all the time. And it's blackout weight fabric liner. Now, RocLon makes sheer, RocLon makes all kinds of weights, but you want the blackout weight, and you can get it in a white or an ecru. And I honestly prefer the ecru because you can paint over ecru white, but you can't paint white easily, like red over white. So I prefer this like toned color. And then this is a table runner that is a video that we did, and it has the tea towel stripes from, I think, 2.5 years ago. It's been a while. And if you notice, this thing is in a little bit gnarly shape. this got rolled up. Pardon me. It got all rolled up. And this is how I would store it. And I'd probably pop it into a paper towel roll or something like that, a tube or something, a little box, and that kind of thing. But it just got rolled up and it got put on the shelf. Okay, you never want to put a rubber band around something like this. A piece of tape that you wrap around would be better because it's not going to squish it. Anytime you start getting pressure and you get these like fold points, it's going to kind of freeze to the fold points. Anyway, we remodeled our building a year and a half ago, and for like 6 to 8 months we were not in this building. This got put in with office supplies somehow, and it got like bent and destroyed and weights put on it, and it's a mess. And what I want to show you is how you would repair that. So this is a table runner, and it is Merry and Bright, and you can see the tea towel stripes at the top, and it has it at the bottom as well. And honestly, when you roll up a banner, you're going to have a problem with this kind of like gimpy rolly thing going on. So I'm going to go, and you can see kind of like the poor sadness. You guys give it some sad faces.
No, don't give us sad faces.
Don't give sad faces. Give hearts. Like, I believe in you, RocLon. I believe in you. Oh, my Lanta. Oh wait, my Lanta.
Oh, my Lanta. You guys, we accidentally said that on the way to Atlanta, and that was Patty's thing the entire time we were there.
My
She kept
Lanta.
saying, oh, my Lanta. And the guy, when we were checking in at the hotel, she said it, and he looked up and his eyes got real big, and he's like, oh, dad jokes. I'm going to do a giveaway real quick.
Good.
We're going to do
I'm gonna do a drink.
I'm going to do a giveaway. You take a little breaky poo. Our second giveaway is going to go to
stencil.
Myrna. Manolis, maybe? Myrna said that she loves our banter. So
Hey,
Myrna's getting a fun
Myrna,
stencil.
notice that this one is one of those as well. So can I take this real quick,
Absolutely.
Myrna? So if you don't have re-stick and you don't have the tape, if you need to deal with this, what you can do is you can take a piece of tapey poo. Okay, I'm gonna go right down here, and I can tape it in the middle. And now it's not so, well, it's not very, I would tape it here and here and then in the middle. That will secure this from sliding around. And the tape here will secure the stencil from sliding around. But I would do that, and then I would remove my tape and move it along as I painted. So that's how I would do it if I didn't have the re-stick. So you can't always own everything, and I get that. So I like to show you how to do other techniques. Okay, so
Jarita asked, is RocLon expensive?
RocLon is so cheap. Okay, neat. So all of these companies, they all have coupons. They all have their weekly coupons, and I think about once every 5 weeks, maybe once a month, once every 6 weeks, something in that time range, RocLon goes on sale for 50% off. And I think it's normally $8.99, $7.99, something like that, and then it's half off or 40% off or whatever. And what I usually do is I buy a roll, and a roll at full price, I can't remember. My rolls are usually $150 or something like that, but then I have the entire bolt. And don't let them sell you the end of the bolt if you do get your own bolt. Don't let them sell you the end if it's all crumpled. Sometimes it'll look like this, and then you have to fix it. So make sure if they start, rolling the thing, they've got these rollers that they do. If they start rolling it and it starts getting crinkly, like, you stay there and babysit that, okay? And so if it starts getting crinkly, what you do is you just be like, stop right there, go ahead and give me what you got, and I won't take the rest of that. And then they can sell that to somebody else or get rid of it or whatever. So you don't have to take that whole thing, and they'll measure that for you and do all of that. But I love RocLon. So I've made outdoor banners for years and years and years. I probably have 40 designs that I've done that were my designs that I painted, and without stencils and that kind of thing. Big deal. And they are magic because you can do them on both sides. You don't have to hem it. It doesn't fray. So you can do these table runners. You can do all kinds of things with it. And the sky's the limit. And you can varnish it. You can make it hard. You can not varnish it. You can keep it soft. You do not ever want to use the product called Fini. I think it's a Canadian product, and I don't care if it's Canadian. I'm just saying that it comes from Canada, and so that's, if you're in Canada, that might be something that you have and you might try it. It makes the RocLon roll. It makes it roll up. I don't know why. Okay, so let me show you how to fix this if you have a problem with something being real wrinkly and stuff like that. So magic tool. There's a heat gun on that top shelf over there. It's the yellow gun. You do not want to use a heat gun. It's way too hot, and then you have the tendency to maybe sit too long and stuff like that. So watch this little edge. Now this is the inside roll. That was the outside roll. I'd already heated that, but this I have not touched. Okay, so I just want to say, like, already it's just more tender and soft. And so what I would do is I would flip it over. I'm not going to do this on this live because that would be just the most boring thing to watch in the universe. But I would flip it. And then don't be afraid to manipulate it a little bit. Like, don't be afraid to be like squishy back over like that. And then let it lay. Once you heat the whole thing, and I almost wouldn't be afraid to toss this like in the dryer for like a minute or two, like not very long, just to get the whole thing warm. Then put it down someplace flat and get the heck out of there and let it just lay flat and let it be, and then you can come back and reheat, treat it. You don't have to spend a lot of time doing this normally. This is literally because this was like a travesty. This was like trapped in a box of books. You know, so this is how bad this looks after the worst possible thing, you know, so. But
Cinda asked, how do you cut the RocLon?
Scissors. Scissors are fabulous. Use a straight edge, make your mark, and then scissors. You can use a rotary scissor. You can use an Olfa cutter. You can use all of your quilting tools. Any of that stuff works really well. It's almost like maybe the weight of a denim. You know, so it's not super heavy, but it cuts like a dream. Doesn't fray.
Trudy asked if it can be ironed.
You know, I don't know. I'm sure if you used a pressing cloth, I'm sure that you could. Yeah, you definitely want to use a pressing cloth. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll it back up, and we'll get. So I do want to point one thing out. I think it's very subtle, and I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so we did the tea towel stripes at the ends, and it's a table runner. You could do table placemats out of this. I've done them cut out shape placemats, as that means cut out placemats. You can do the cut out placemats and make them into, you know, bespoke shapes, pumpkin shapes, that kind of thing. You can't buy that stuff in stores, and you can't buy it with cool, like your sayings, your family name, you know, your crest, your initials, all of that stuff. Painting is so cool. I love DIY for that.
Yes.
You make it your own, you know. But what I wanted to show you with this is
you
this.
might have to hold it up to Rusty. I'm having a hard time seeing it on
has got the black plaid in the white. Can you see that, Rusty? Steve, you got it?
Just barely.
Yeah, it's so
faint.
subtle.
It's so subtle.
Can you?
What do you mean?
There you go.
Let me try reflecting it.
Okay, you're seeing it on it today.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so anyway, but this is the black plaid stencil behind it, and then to make it look like worn fabric, I went through it and sanded it. So that makes it settle down, and it also makes it look really weathered. It's amazing. So, and you can do that. It doesn't hurt it at all to sand this product. And after you're all finished, you can go ahead and give it a coat of matte varnish. So you're sealed in, let it completely dry, and then when you put it away, you could do a pants hanger so it hangs straight. You can do it in a tube. You could put a tube in the middle of it, so you wrap it around a hard tube. There's a lot of, that would keep it from doing this. You know, this is, considering how many RocLon things I've painted in my life, this is, if we hadn't have moved and there weren't so many hands involved, I'm sure it would have been fine, but sigh. Anyway, but it is a magic product. You guys will love painting on it. It paints just like wood.
Yeah.
You know, it paints exactly, you can use a roller on it, you can do all the things. A roller is how I do prefer to base coat this. And then, this didn't become a RocLon thing, but it kind of did. Okay, so right here where I sanded, you can hear, super smooth sounding. Right here where I didn't sand, way rougher. So if I didn't want that roughness and I wanted a smoother effect, I would switch to my fine sander, which is like 120, I think. Just give it a light knockback. And whenever you're rolling on something, it's gonna make a little, kind of, each of the little suction-y things from the roller are gonna make a little poof, 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 poof. And when it dries like that, it makes little raised, like, things. And so then your sander will knock them back, and then you can go on your way. But that'll happen on wood too. But if it happens on here, you can sand it. Okay, so we're gonna roll this up and show how to use the tea towel stripe. All right, so I'm gonna show you how to use a tea towel stripe on something that we have already painted and waxed. Okay, so that's really important because if you've already waxed it, then it already has a protector. If you've varnished it, that's not as big a deal because a light sanding will allow you to paint back over the top of it. When you wax it, wax resists water and our paint is water-based. So when we do that, that's a problem. So I've got this project that we painted 2 years ago and it's been waxed, and I have already done the step to this one. I'm gonna show you on this one. Because the second thing that was a big darn deal was polka dots. And so you can see this project, Rusty, you wanna look at that one? This one has got the foiling or the metallic on it through the stencil. You gotta watch that video, it's amazing. But I also have these luscious polka dots on the background. And so this one was styled very similarly. These were projects that we did over in our boutique. And I think they're probably 2 years old. But anyway, but the point is we had them stored in the back, and I was like, what if I added stripes to this? And I wanted to show something like and like. So let me show you how to do that. Polka dots, oh my Lanta. If you wanna know what's gonna be happening for Christmas and you do boutiques, or you know, craft shows and stuff like that, polka dot Christmas. It was everywhere.
Everywhere.
We were like buying pom-poms and polka dots and
yeah,
you know.
I posted a picture on our Facebook of me holding up a red and white coffee mug that was in a Christmas section, and there were polka dots on all of the table settings, and then, polka dots on the signs behind me, and polka dots on another thing behind me. Like the whole section was polka dots.
Everything.
And while we're talking about Christmas, we can also talk about the color scheme of Christmas.
Yeah. Color scheme of Christmas is red and white.
Red and white. I mean, it's
red and white.
Everywhere. Every section every booth that we saw that had Christmas was traditional red and white Christmas with the candy canes and just like the big peppermints.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to make sure that you get a candy cane stencil.
Yeah. Oh, the candy
for
cane
this year,
stencils.
which we have the Jolly Porch.
So anytime you want to add a detail to, if you want to add a candy cane stripe to something, like it's a pain in the keister, okay? Shucky darn.
Darn it.
We were talking about how to swear without swearing.
Without getting kicked off YouTube.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so if you want to do a stripe without it being a pain, then you want to have a candy cane stripe or a striping stencil. These T-tails could also be your stripes, but they just don't do an angle stripe. So such a pain to do these by hand. If you are even good at tracing, basing, and doing all of that, they're still the biggest pain you will ever experience. So having a stencil for that's called a stencil as a tool instead of a stencil as like a lettering stencil. So put that back. Okay. So how do we prep this project that has already been waxed? This has got such a beautiful feel to it. You guys, the wax is, it's available in Special Dark, which is going to tone your project. And available in natural. I think it might be available in other colors too. But this we just apply, we keep a sea sponge inside our container, and we just seal that down, and then we just rub it on after we're done painting. We don't necessarily always varnish unless it's going outside. The feel of this is so rich. It's just beautiful. So that's why we like to wax. And then, so here's how we're gonna get rid of the wax. So we are going to use a degreaser. Okay, so we're just gonna spray that on there. Let it sit for a second. Am I in front of Carrie?
No.
Where do you want this?
Oh,
She took it away. We were trying not to cover Carrie's face up earlier. Okay, so after you get that on there, then we're just going to wipe it off, and you can see it's kind of a green color, same color as the stuff in the bottle. Not removing my paint. Okay, so if you need to go backwards and you need to fix something and it's already waxed, then how you can do that is to get rid of the product on top. If you've varnished, then you can go with I'm gonna go with a heavy grit. Really, you should have something in between these two. This is a 60, this is a 120, so something in like the 80 or 100 would be good. So either of those. Okay, I wanna hear what's in you guys' tumblers today. Okay, so that already, I can already tell that's completely different than the waxed surface. I'm gonna go ahead with the light grit, sand that just a little bit just to break through. And then I'm gonna do just a teeny bit of heavy, no weight. So this is very heavy. I'd give it, we need to weigh this.
Okay.
This, I would say 3/4 of a pound or a pound. It has a weight of its very own. Now, what I don't want to do is cut through all my paint. So, but I know I'm going to apply polka dots to the background, so I know I can press a little heavier where I've already got antiquing and stay out of my letters. So that's kind of a neat thing, is planning, if you will. Okay, so I think that's good. I can feel it not be waxy. All right, so we'll go here. I'm gonna bring this guy. So what we saw at market was that you could take and that palette paper is gonna be trash, so we'll get rid of that just because it's got sticky all over it. Get rid of our tapes. And sticky everywhere. Okay, so get rid of that. This is what the foil looks like at the tape. So this is where we have already used up some of the foiling to do a technique like this. Okay, so you want to know about the foil. I cannot stress enough how magic that is. Really, it impressed me, and if it impressed me, and I've seen so much in the painting world, and then I think it's probably something to see. Okay. So I'm hunting for my stripes. That's nice and tacky. I'm going to run that along through the middle of this project. Now, if I want it to be at the very top, I'm going to go ahead and put it way up at the top. Probably should be measuring this. I'm kind of centering it on my M though. That's what I'm doing. So, and then I'm looking at the tops of my cuts, and I'm going to call that straight. Just press it down, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take your dome brush. The dome brushes are magic. If you've used the dome brushes and you have something nice to say about them, even if you don't, actually I want to hear everything that you have to say. I don't think there is anything bad you can say about them, except every now and again they lose some hairs. If you have a problem with the dome brush, we back it, so don't worry about that, but you shouldn't have a problem. Anyway, so tell everybody else in the comments and stuff what you love about this, because they will make it so you don't bleed under anymore. Flat stencil brushes push the paint straight under your stencil because they're flat. So when they hit, they go whoop, like that. They just make a little skirt. And then this is, let me do it this way. This is so firm and a nice tight bristle that it doesn't press out. So this is why this works so well. We're gonna take a dry paper towel, a dry brush, so this is like dry brush stenciling. I'm gonna pick up a little of my blue and a little of my tan, just do a brush mix, and I'm gonna do like 15 swirls. And I've changed this from 5 to 25 to 15 to 12. It just matters on your pressure. It just depends on the pressure and things that you're doing. So just know that so this multi-masker has glitter on it. I'm going to just throw that away. Glitter is dangerous in the world. I could just go wash it, but I've got like 15 of them down here. So you want to be really careful about using glitter on your stencils and not washing it off. So make sure if you're using glitter, shove that multi-masker in your bucket and let yourself know that I have to wash that thing off. Okay, and we have a video on how to wash your stencils and even ones with glitter on it. So you might want to check that out. Okay, I've talked my brush dry, I'm sure. I'm using this tan because that's my background, and I'm using this blue because I want it toned. So we're gonna go here, and I want it really soft. So this is how you can, after the fact, add a little bit of that color. Now I'm gonna go in here and mask. Go here and mask. So I can add this completely after the fact. And then let's peek. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, so you ready? La. Let me finish that one little stripe because I think it's gonna look prettier if I do. Notice I'm just feather, light touch. And I'm gonna go this way. These multi-maskers, oh my Lanta, I can't stop saying that. Okay, and when you're brush mixing, just keep an eye on your palette to make sure that things look right. And then know that when you reload, it's gonna be stronger. So if it's stronger, you might get into trouble, so you wanna be really cautious of that. And then notice this is interesting. So if I stopped suddenly and didn't kind of feather sweep, I'd end up with a rough start and stop mark. And so because I feather, when I pick it back up to come and finish this part, it's gonna blend perfectly. Okay, so that's a really good tip. Okay, so do we have any questions?
Nope, sorry, I'm looking for a link for somebody.
Ha ha ha! Okay.
We did have someone ask earlier if you could blow dry a stencil that's bent, like you blow dried, whatever word that would be, the RocLon.
So we had that question a few weeks ago, and then somebody said just bend it back. So you can bend back a stencil, bend it the opposite way of the bend, and then if you needed to, you could maybe soften it with the blow dryer. It's not optimal. Bent stencils are like the one thing you really can't fix, so just FYI. But yes, you can bend it backwards, and then you could soften it by heating it, and hopefully that will make it enough. You could also tape it down where it was bent, and then fix it that way. So I hope that helps. It's a real big problem. Be careful about bending your stencils. Okay, so I'm gonna come down here, multi-mask to finish, multi-mask. Where there's just little bits hanging out there, I'm not worried about those. I want the big bits protected. And then I've got all of this going on. I got all this stuff going on right here. So I'm gonna mask my big bit and then not mask my little bit. I could get out another masker, and I probably should have. I'm gonna go ahead and lick and spit. Okay, and I'll show you how to fix that in just a second. Okay, so now I've come to the end of the run. What do? I pick it up, and beautiful. You guys, this looks so good on chairs, on pillows, on furniture, on chair, like the backs of chairs. It's so magic. I love, 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 love. This is the new buffalo plaid. This is absolutely the new buffalo plaid. You will see it everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to line that up, press that down, and mask the big bits.
All right, while we're doing this, let's do another giveaway. Let's see. Our friend Darlia said she had to go to work, so she has to head off. So Darlia, we're sorry that you have to go to work, but we hope that you're still on. Hopefully for a couple more seconds so we can give these to you. I have 2 framed stencils to give away.
So
they're tiny. They're really good for cards or gift wrap. I did a whole video on card using these frame stencils. So Darlia, we will message you and you will get these. And then while we're talking about giveaways, our grand prize, we're going to have 2 grand prizes for tomorrow that we'll announce tomorrow afternoon. To be entered to win, you want to like, share, and comment. Be sure to let us know in the comments if you have shared. Depending on your settings on your Facebook, we can't always see who shared our posts. So if you have your Facebook more private, we can't see that. But we're giving away 2 of the 5 set of
Best
the dome brushes.
ever.
So since we're talking about dome brushes, it's a good time to announce those. But we're going to give away 2 of these sets. So make sure to like, share, and comment. Let us know, and then we will announce those tomorrow.
Perfect. Okay, reveal. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, ta-da. Okay, now I do have a little bit showing on the black of my lettering, my stenciling. So I'm going to use a click eraser. I love that sound. If this is one of those pop-it tools,
Oh my
pop-it
gosh.
toys,
We could sell
Market.
those like crazy to artists.
click, 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 click. Super fun. Okay, so you can lick that, but that's not sanitary.
Please
So
don't
we
lick
won't
it.
do that anymore. That was the way we used to do it. Okay, and then if your paint is dry within like 5 minutes, then you can just go right over the top of your paint and you can erase fresh paint. And that is the best way to fix an error. And there you go. So that's nice and, oh, I got some stripes through the littles. I keep thinking I can see without my glasses on. It's like that 40-year muscle memory. Who else had eyeballs that disappeared at age 40? I did. Like the end of my paintbrush disappeared. Okay, and one more over here. So see how that just sweeps that paint away and it is no more. And isn't that, like that was a cute stencil when it was done, but it's super on trend and super cute right now. So I would go through and I would re-wax this and have my finished French inspired tea towel, and I think that that is ta-da, awesome. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to fix a storage problem, and then
we have a couple more little things to talk about, not necessarily paint related,
excuse me,
but a couple more trends that we saw just for things that you guys might like to do around your house.
Yeah, so much. We'll be talking about this for weeks. Excuse me. Okay, this time I have to take a drink. I got that little dry spot over on the edge. Okay, then you got to take it. So this is cute. This is polka dots. Oh, I have to do the polka dots. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm gonna take over. So, what happened with this one was so we have a bunch of small designs that we do, and when Patty was going through and picking things out to do with today's project, we went through some of our small ones just to see what we could find and maybe add to it. And she grabbed this one. She's like, I'm not sure I want to show this one. It doesn't look good. Well, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what do you mean? I painted that one. It looks great. And it was totally on trend. It has the red and the green polka dots, but it wasn't how it was painted that was the problem. It was how it was stored. So we didn't actually, we didn't actually,
Sorry about that.
I didn't seal this one when I finished painting it. So what happened with it was,
I say.
I'm gonna stay. So what happened with this one was, they were stacked on top of each other, and there were several of them stacked on top of each other. So since it wasn't sealed, it just got scratched and dented and gross. So we wanted to bring it on actually just to show you how to make it look a little better. And so when you're storing them, it doesn't get junky.
Yeah, freshening up. So, sorry about that.
Okay.
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
All right, so something that you can do, can I have the Zep again?
Yeah.
Is you can spray it with your Zep, let it sit a second, and then just kind of clean it off and see what comes off. Okay, so sometimes you'll be surprised. What happens is the edges of these boards are laser cut, and if they're laser cut, then if you don't seal, I got a lot of volume in my chuckle. If you don't seal them, then that brown char can smear onto other things. So you want to take your ink sweeper. Hello, ink sweeper.
We have another one in there?
I do. Your ink sweeper, and just varnish the edges of your projects. So that way that gets sealed under and it's not going to spread to other things. Like if you put this on your couch and your couch was cream colored, and you picked it up and left a big streak of that, you would be sad.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you definitely are sealing that in. And that's something we haven't talked about a lot. I know to do that, but you kind of sometimes forget what you know.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Well, and a lot of times, when things are just hanging out around here, we don't always...
We're not very nice to them.
We don't go through the waxing process of some of these.
Yeah.
Just because we're painting it, we're showing it to you, it gets stored on a shelf, and then...
Yeah.
We grab it at times like this, but it kind of works out.
Like I literally dug through a pile of these. We knew we didn't want to throw them away, but we knew that that we probably weren't going to hang them again.
Yeah.
And use them. So like it's a weird. Hey, Mr. White, come on out of there. Okay, so I'm going to poke into that and break that seal. We haven't painted in like 2 weeks and my white dried up. Okay, so we get ready to go to market. It's all hands on deck trying to get all the things done. So these little angle brushes. So on our website, we have a lot of brushes, maybe 25 or 30.
Yeah.
In the world of brushes, that's not very many brushes, but every one of them has a great use, and every one of them I'm going to say it like a little bit maybe arrogantly, but I've vetted every single one of them, and I've painted 750 professional projects that I've published, plus magazine articles and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I literally know what I'm doing. So I just want you to know that every one of them is there because they've earned their right to be there. So if you're looking for an angle shader or a flat brush or a liner brush or a round brush, we have them there. They're vetted, they work. We guarantee them, all of that kind of stuff. So it's important because brushes, I have bought more brushes at big box stores that are good for arts and crafts, and they don't always work, and you can't tell that they're not going to because they're packaged with sizing, and you just don't know. Okay, so this has got lots of white. White's a really tricky color, right? Because it's so scarable. So I'm going to go here with this angle brush. I'm going to put some paint on the toe of my brush. I'm going to blend it in so it's not going to be lumpy. And then I can go right over here and sneak in right close to my lettering. Okay, now another trick would be if you already own the stencil and you already own the polka dots, you already have the things, because stencils are reusable, so you can use them over and over and over again. If you already own this stuff, you could take a roller and roll lightly right back over, replace your stencil, rescumble. It wouldn't take you 20 minutes to fix it, and then you'd have a fresh project. So there's a lot of ways that you can fix things. So that's how you would fix. But we were talking about polka dots. Polka dots were such a big deal. They were on everything. And so if you wanted to add, we didn't cut a polka dot stencil, a little one. But I probably have it.
Yeah, I did.
Tiny?
Not a teeny tiny, but I brought the hand-drawn polka dots.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get the, hang on. I didn't think about it because I grabbed that and we hadn't talked about doing that. So we have, these stencils are smaller than the bigger stencils that we put in there. And let's see if I have polka dots in here. I have the little teenies. All right, well, I do not. So I'll use a teeny. It won't be quite the same thing. But if you were gonna put polka dots, this is like a bubble one. Look how fun that is. Oh my goodness.
That's cute.
That's super fun. So if I wanted to put polka dots in the background, I would clean it off with that. And then you get your polka dot. I would use a bigger stencil than this because this would be a pain. But you could lay that over. Get you a brush. Bell sleeves are not for painting. Do not do it. They are not okay. Oh, that meant help so much. Good night. Okay, so if I was gonna add polka dots to that, I would just suck that up over there in the corner. I would avoid my painted areas and just add polka dots. And these are going to be really subtle and probably really hard to see. They're really hard to see. Yeah. Okay, so the point is that after you're painted, you could clean off your wax. You could tuck your polka dots into the background without disturbing any of your artwork. And then that's a way that you can add polka dots back in. You can add your tea towel back in. And that's kind of what I wanted to really stress was the retroactively adding something back in if you've already done a thing and I really wanted that tea towel stripe, and then we really saw a big trend in tea towel stripes extending from the word, and really the arrows that have been such a big trend for the last 5 years, the arrows are kind of a precursor to a tea towel stripe.
Yeah.
They're leading your eye, they're doing a thing. They would be a good reason to use the re-stick as well. So what other things do we have?
The other things we were going to talk about was just traditional color schemes that we saw. Navies, greens, neutrals. We're not really getting away from the neutrals, it doesn't seem.
If you grew up, if you had a house or were, making a home in the 80s and you had hunter green and that kind of Cape Cod, it's not Cape Cod right now, it's more of a navy. But if you knew the blue and the green, we're definitely into hunter greens right now and the blues and naturals. So everything, and actually, funny that I grabbed these things, but this kind of neutral background and this kind of neutral background, everything had like a wood tone with it. So you might be this kind of like tealy blue with a natural with it. You might be a cherry wood and then you'd have a strong color with it. So it was really, the earthy naturals were like a big deal.
Okay, and then for decorating purposes, tiered stands with
Lanta,
beads.
Yeah. Oh my Lanta!
And when I say beads, I want to say beads and garland.
Yeah.
As a general thing, like we would walk into showrooms and there would be, it looks like a curtain of dozens of garlands that they're
really
just
long beaded things.
There's beaded, and then there were some with shapes. We saw little cute mushroomy ones, but
so good.
Just really like beads, garlands. Garlands were huge this year. And the 2-tiered, 3-tiered stands were ridiculous. I mean, they're if you go on Pinterest, you will see, if you just search for a 2-tier or a 3-tiered stand, you will see everything in the universe. You have a coffee station, you have a desk station, you have a display station, you have a whatnot thing on your island, you have a coffee and donut thing that you could put on there. It's everything. When we
everywhere.
have an Ask Carrie that we did last year on how to create
How to decorate
how
them
to
in,
decorate
yeah.
it, and we decorated one.
That's a good one.
Like every day, we decorated one for Easter. So I'm going to share that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good video. If you get a little bit stuck, Carrie Ann, this is Carrie G, that's Carrie Ann, they did it together, and Carrie Ann is a decorator. And so she just really took her design skill sense and just shares a lot of basic knowledge with us all. You know, I learned a lot from that. So that's I think it's a really good one to just get a what to do if you don't know what to do sense.
Yeah, agree.
You know, I think that's a really good place to go.
Well, guys, make sure you like, share, and comment so you can have a chance to win our dome brushes.
Yep.
We're giving them away tomorrow.
Yay! See you guys on Tuesday at noon.
Bye.